Hey guys, welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hello.
And with us today is Jason Wingate,
Hello.
Will Fletcher,
Hi.
and Timothy Clark,
Good afternoon.
who come here to do our latest review and our final review for this year for Batman Returns, that was released in 1992.
Exactly.
Yes. So, how do you guys feel about the movie? When we watched it the other day, or each of us?
Have you
watched
watched
Yeah.
it recently?
Yes, we have watched it recently. Yes. Well, in case you don't know, Batman Returns is actually a sequel to the first Batman with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
When you brought the subject up, the funny thing is we just watched Batman and Batman Returns for Halloween. So.
Yeah, just
So it wasn't for Christmas or anything? No.
No.
Right.
Well, you see, the thing is, people think that Batman Returns
Yeah.
is a Christmas movie because it's set in Christmas, but it isn't actually a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's
No,
the
it's
same
not.
thing with Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. A lot of
Yeah.
people have been talking non-stop about whether or not these were Christmas-themed movies.
See, we could have done Nightmare Before Christmas. That's another Tim Burton one.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
maybe next
Not,
time.
not next Christmas.
Next
We've got to wait 12 months, folks.
Yeah, another 12 months.
Actually, that's one thing. We did watch Nightmare Before Christmas, and Danny Elfman did the soundtrack for Nightmare Before Christmas and the Batman movie as well.
Yes,
And
that's
a
right.
number of
Yeah,
other
yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Burton films.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they must be good work.
Well, it's kind of like
a good working relationship.
Steven Spielberg and John Williams. They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they work well together. Now,
Yeah.
okay, let's get into it a little bit. Now,
Yeah.
produced by Tim Burton and Denise Denova. Directed by, Tim Burton. Gee. Story by Daniel Waters and Sam Hamm. Sam Hamm was the original writer, and he was replaced by Daniel Waters. And so Daniel Waters was probably the main writer, and the screenplay was by Daniel Waters. So, ta-da!
And who stars in it? No doubt
Lots
you know.
of people.
Lots of
Michael
people.
Keaton.
Has
He played Batman and
Bruce
Bruce Wayne, if
Wayne.
you didn't know. Yeah. Danny DeVito, strange little man, plays the Penguin.
And Oswald Copperpot.
Well, that's
That's
his other name.
yes.
But
He's,
I am not a human being. I am an animal. Yeah, whatever.
His alter ego is what we call it.
Yeah. And Michelle Pfeiffer, who plays Catwoman, and
Actually,
Selina
she-
Kyle.
In my
What?
opinion, best Catwoman ever.
Halle
too.
Berry. Halle
Yes.
Berry sees.
Oh no. Michelle Pfeiffer's the best
Who's
Catwoman.
Halle Berry?
She was in a sort of her standalone movie
Yes.
called Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. No, we won't go. There might be kiddies listening.
No. It's
Anyway,
well, she's.
Now, Christopher Walken plays a guy called Max Schreck. He's a wealthy businessman who's really
Yeah.
bent. And now, his name's Shrek. I'm wondering whether they borrowed a name.
No.
Let's not go there.
It's spelled
Okay,
differently.
No,
Let's not go there.
no.
Well, I don't know. S-H-R-E-C-K. Oh, no C in the other one, is there?
Just bear in
Okay.
mind, Mike, Shrek, the one
The
everyone
nice
knows,
cartoon of Michael
Yes.
Myers.
is,
Okay.
that came much
I just said he
later.
Right.
they borrowed the name Shrek.
Try 10 years later.
Yeah, it's a borrowed name.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Michael Goff plays Alfred the butler, the family
Yeah.
retainer, if you will.
Yeah, Michael has been playing Alfred for from 1989 to Batman and
97.
Robin much later on.
In my opinion, Michael Groff is actually the best Alfred.
I agree with you, Jason. I agree with
Michael
you
Caine
there.
did pretty good, and he wasn't as good as, I don't think.
Michael Caine.
I think Michael Caine did a couple of.
Yeah, Michael Caine. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
I
did.
do.
He did do Alfred in the Christian.
Bale.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay, but
Yeah.
I just think Michael.
He's not as good as Scott.
I just think Michael Goff suited the role better. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the kind of guy who just likes you just like to be with.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
since we're on the topic of casting,
Uh-huh.
we mentioned that Michael Keaton was Bruce Wayne in Batman, and there are a lot of conspiracy comments out there that they didn't, he was the wrong choice to cast for Batman. You guys agree with that?
I wouldn't.
Look, honestly, there's been several Batmans. We've had. It was
We had Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton.
Adam West. Well,
forget Adam
He
West.
was-
He's
He's long gone.
okay, longer.
He probably dead and
Okay,
buried now,
let me
yeah.
see. Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
And George Clooney.
He was in there.
And,
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, and when you look, I like George Clooney. He's eye candy for the girls.
Yes.
He's probably the best
Guys.
looking one.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, well, I think Christian Bale is more of
Michael
an action
Keaton-
hero type guy.
I think Michael Keaton fits because he does have that geeky rich man kind of look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's
Yeah.
why it probably works for him.
Yeah.
I think Michael Keaton is probably the best of the Batmans. When
I think they've all brought
me
something
too.
to it. But but
because he has a good voice, and I think it works both
But
ways.
Who was that? Sorry.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
yeah.
the one who's this one here.
Yeah.
What am I talking about now?
I haven't seen Batman Forever, so I wouldn't know how Val Kilmer is.
He's
as
not
Batman.
bad actually, but see, Val Kilmer's in movies like The Saint. No, I think he has that sort of rough sort of action hero guy walking on the edge and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. And
I can't. I
yeah.
still think he's dreamy sometimes
Well,
too.
I don't really understand why someone would cast George Clooney as Batman.
I candy for the women.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's a good-looking man.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
guys
yeah.
like the action adventure. Girls like to look at something pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's hot. Let's go see the Batman movie. You see, and it makes money.
But then you see, Batman and Robin destroyed the franchise, didn't it?
It's bad.
Negatively reviewed.
Yes.
That movie was.
Yeah, but I don't go by reviewers. They're full
Yeah,
of
they
crap. The amount
Hey,
of movies.
then what are we doing?
No, we've gone through so many movies
Yeah.
here, and we've seen good movies which have done good at the box office. Have got negative reviews from the reviewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this sort of movie, so I'm going to bag it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
Yeah, I
but
know what you mean.
we comes all the time, and saying, "Oh, I don't like it." Like Rotten Tomatoes. It's not even their opinion. It's anyone who wants to go online and say, "I think it's a crappy movie," and they go, "Well, we got 10 reviews and 6 of them said it was crappy, so it must be crappy."
I think it was pretty cool, and it was Michael Keaton's favorite of the movies,
Yeah, he
even though
liked it.
Yeah.
he was also paid $11 million in this role.
That's not bad,
Batman
folks.
Returns.
Yeah,
Less
Batman
tax.
Returns.
Yeah.
$3.50.
Yeah, I think that dear old Tim Burton, he couldn't see, unlike the producers at the time, which had doubts about casting Michael Keaton in the sequel, well, Tim Burton just stated that he personally believes Mike Keaton deserves this role.
Yes.
Meaning he has faith in him.
He's a good actor, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
I do like the music in this movie. I like Danny Elfman's the music he composed in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he not just composed.
Well,
did
he probably composed it, and he orchestrated,
Yeah,
did
even-
arrangements, whatever
Yeah,
he did. And,
there was even a song mix that happened during the ball scene between Selina and Bruce.
Yes.
Which was a kind of Dan Elfman's mix that he made.
Okay.
Didn't Susie and the Banshees?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
band.
that band. Yeah, he wrote that song that they did. Yeah, that rock band who actually did the sound as part of the
Oh, right,
soundtrack.
yeah,
He actually
yeah.
wrote that music for them to perform.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
yeah,
Tim?
yeah.
Well, he didn't.
Jason?
It was nice. He
Yeah.
wanted someone to do it. You know, if you get something like Mel Brooks doing a musical score, is Mel Brooks going to sing the bloody thing? Shouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think that was a good music
Yeah.
stuff, and I do agree.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right, I'll tell you guys a bit of a brief clip notes of the story. So the story takes place during Christmas, as you guys already
Jingle
know.
bells, Batman smells, Robin. Whatever.
Robin laid an egg.
Well,
Anyway,
Robin wasn't there then, so how could he blame you?
He named all Sparrow
okay,
at the time.
so it begins where the Penguin gets born to some wealthy people, and they reject him by dumping him into an abandoned zoo park, whatever. And
It's a zoo, yeah.
Yeah.
You can say it's a zoo.
It was a
Yeah.
zoo.
Yeah,
It was
and
a zoo,
Yeah.
folks.
and 30 years later,
He grew up in a big penguin.
yes, and he sends out his his colleagues who are evil clowns from a Red Ring Circus.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
red something. Yeah, red ring circle. I think it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were bent.
they were bent.
They were bent guys.
Very
Because they were already doing something naughty. Actually, there's some story in there that they had a Birdman in the Red Ring Circus as well,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
that was alluding to the
hint.
fact that it might have been the Penguin was actually in the
Yeah.
circus.
Yeah, I noticed that
Yeah,
too.
and
Yeah.
I think Batman
Uh-huh.
discovered that these circus freaks have been kidnapping children during their performances.
Yeah.
And we don't know, and we think that maybe, just maybe, it was the Penguin stealing children and probably killing them.
And eating them.
Ah.
Tastes like chicken.
Anyway, so moving on, Max Schreck, who is our sort of co-star. A lot of people have been commenting on Facebook, on Google, that they keep saying that Max Schreck should have a bit of a bigger role in this movie. But it's not about him. It's about the Penguin
And Cat Lady.
Catwoman, how she became the figure we know today.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, he's just a colleague to the Penguin.
How much they get paid? Okay.
But I do think he had good stage presence as a
he plays good,
bad guy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
he's also connected to Catwoman too, don't forget.
yeah,
Because he's the reason Catwoman exists.
Yeah.
He killed her.
yeah.
Well, he tried to kill her.
Wasn't it?
Only because she discovered something that dealing with his power plant that deals with sucking energy out of
The power grid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that moment with Catwoman for a second. Like, did she actually die and the cats bring him back, or was she just passed out? and
So
cats
what?
bring
So
her up?
it doesn't actually say, but he said you
Yeah.
killed. She said you killed me,
Yes. Yeah.
and then she said the Penguin killed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she might have died, just brought back somehow or other. Because in the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry, she was actually brought back to life by
Like
cats.
cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And made it a little more mystical.
Yeah. So it could be, but don't know.
Yeah.
So, well, you would have something. You had something to say about
Come
that.
on,
Simon?
Will.
Jump on the bandwagon.
So one thing that kind of took me by surprise. We can't talk about spoilers here. We can talk about the story.
Yeah.
The scene where Catwoman goes insane. That I thought that scene was much later in the movie, like probably around the 50-minute, 1 hour mark, because I didn't realise it was that early in the movie that she transformed into Catwoman.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I found this movie to be pretty lacking, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I did, and this isn't me just being swayed by reviews. It's not a bad movie, but I do think it is pretty weak. There are some good moments, but I do think it is a bit overrated, and I enjoy the first Batman movie much more than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I do
Yeah.
agree that both of them. I do like both of them myself.
Yeah.
So, Tim, what do you think of Batman Returns? I didn't ask you.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Even since the first time watching it, I got spooked because I've seen it as a kid. But even watching it today still spooks me out, especially the transformation of Catwoman. Still gives me the
Yeah.
jitters.
Yeah.
I just thought it happened way too early. I thought there was going to be a lot more suspense leading up to that scene. It came up very suddenly, and I'm thinking, really, that early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did think.
But
I
she is one of the main villains in the
Because
film. Yeah.
that scene was the first exposure I had to this movie. That's the first thing I knew about this movie was that scene and nothing else. And it kind of took me by surprise why it was so early.
I do like the love-hate relationship she has with Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. I mean, she hates Batman, but she loves Bruce Wayne. That's how I see it.
I will say this though, I really like Catwoman's costume in this movie.
Yes.
Ooh,
Actually,
that's an interesting thing you
Yeah.
brought up.
that was almost
Will.
painted on the
Did
same
you know
side.
that Michelle Pfeiffer went through 60 cat suits during the 6-month shooting at the cost of $1,000 a piece?
Wow.
Back in those days.
And
Yeah.
and I like her whip. I do think it's a much better costume than Anne Hathaway's Catwoman in
Yes.
The Dark Knight Rises.
And it just goes back to my point that
Yeah.
this film is a lot more iconic. This is why I like it better than any of
Yeah.
the other Batman movies. It's a lot more iconic
Yeah.
than the Batman movies we see today.
Because I mean, of course, the Dark Knight's Joker is the most iconic Joker, but Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was her. She didn't look like Catwoman. She just looked like a girl in
exactly.
in a scantily dress with a big butt.
Yeah.
And,
Is that a
yeah.
problem?
Hey,
Is that a
don't
problem?
be rude.
Yeah.
Hey, how about when we had Batgirl? Yeah, Alicia Silverstone. She looked pretty good.
Going back to the costumes and
Good
makeup,
costumes.
here's a pretty cool fact. Did you know that when Tim Burton designed the costumes and the makeup and everything
Yeah.
for Batman Returns, he actually based it on German expressionism,
Wow.
which is where he gets a lot of his
Oh, okay.
Blimey.
influences from. Yeah.
That is cool.
So you notice how the Penguin's got black around his eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very typical for German expressionism,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is like linked into, well, how should I put it? It started to blend into Hollywood more
Yeah.
when we had all our Dracula movies and all those monster movies
I
that
gotta
you
admit,
like.
whenever I look at Tim Burton's movies, I do see a sense of foreign European about it whenever I look at
Yeah,
it.
and also look at the lighting as well. The lighting has a lot of German expressionism in it as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I do think it's really interesting whenever I look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as moving on, so dear old Penguin, he then tries to make out he's a hero to the public by saving the mayor's baby, his
Which was
kid,
a setup. Ah.
which was a setup so he can make himself be appealing to the public, while at the same time frame dear old Batman for some horrible crimes too.
which actually was Catwoman's idea. It wasn't Penguin's idea originally.
It
Yeah.
was. Yeah, well, she had a hate for Batman, but even
Yeah.
though it's more of a love-hate relationship when you look at it. But I think she just hates men whenever I look at it.
Well, a man killed her.
Powerful.
Yes.
And she didn't have any really good relationships with men before she got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
here's
think
a
that-
question
She's a man
for you.
hater.
Which villain out of Batman Returns do you think is more evil, or are they really evil? Are they just
Well.
traumatized?
I reckon Penguin's probably the evil
Yeah,
one, and Max Shrek.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, Max Shrek. Good
Yeah,
point. Yeah,
Penguin
He's
has.
probably more evil one more than that, Penguin, because he manipulated Penguin
that's right. That's right.
to make him go for mayor.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and in
Yeah.
so doing so, he can probably get his power plant operational. And
Because
so
Penguin can sign off.
because the original mayor, he says no, we're not going to put money towards your power plant thing because at the moment we have plenty of power. We don't need your power plant. But if he gets Penguin elected, then
He
you know
gives him total power
he
over
can
city.
totally get power.
tell you
Now that's starting to make sense. I was
Catwoman-
wondering what his motivation was
Yeah.
to get
Catwoman
Penguin to be mayor.
didn't really feel like a villain in this movie. She felt more like a tragic character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrek was the evil one, and he pushed her over the edge, and
Yeah.
she became a tragic side character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did think I loved her how she would often attack Max Shrek's businesses, like go into
Yes.
his department store and blow the
Blow
thing
up
up.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed that was
Hell
Max
hath no
Shrek's
fury like a woman's
business.
scorn.
So what was her fire against Batman?
I think it's because he's a powerful figure and
And a man. Because
True.
like I said, she had all this trouble with men before,
yeah.
and a man killed her. And once she manipulated too much, they said, man hate probably, maybe.
Yeah.
and I think she did have a bit of a sex appeal to dear old Bruce, and I think
Yeah.
Bruce felt appealed to that sexual
Yeah. Yeah.
tension.
I'm just trying to think back to I know we saw it recently, but I'm just trying to think back to when Catwoman and Batman first met. The first thing, the very first time Batman and Catwoman met is when she blew the shop up. And
Yeah.
she just totally started hemming into Catwoman for Batman. He did nothing to her.
He was
just
going to stop her.
Yeah.
Yeah, at odd times he did try to save her, but at the same time she didn't want to be saved by him.
Yeah. So there's no reason why Catwoman should have bad feelings against Batman. I think.
I don't know, but when
Yeah.
when it came by the end of the movie, like when they did that ball sequence where she's looking at the mistletoe and they quote the same lines that when they were
Yeah,
playing
that's a class.
And
That's
then
a
they
classic.
they
realised,
both realize that
whoops.
they're
Yeah.
going to have to fight one another by the end of the.
Do we start fighting now?
Yeah,
Yes.
but I think deep down
cat
she
noises.
didn't want to see him as the Batman character. But when it came time to between the ball sequence and much later on, I think she began to realize that she must do what she must do, meaning she must do what she's programmed to
And she
do.
killed Shrek.
Yeah, it's taking her revenge on him.
Was her intention to kill Shrek the whole time? Because
I think so.
Yeah.
before they even did the mistletoe thing, she put the gun out and showed Bruce.
Yeah, she was going to attempt to shoot
She was
him.
going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plain and simple. No.
That was too
no
easy.
costumes. I think
Yeah.
that's the whole point in that scene, because in that scene, both of them were not wearing any costumes, which could
Yes.
symbolize that they're not hiding themselves anymore in that scene.
Yeah, it's a very good metaphor.
I mean, I like the metaphor in this.
Yeah.
And then the Penguin arrives and he plans to kill all the
Or take all the
firstborns.
firstborns or
It makes me
something,
think
yeah.
of the Bible with
King
Moses
Herod,
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's funny. That's
Interesting.
interesting because Real mentioned something like that while we were watching it the other night.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
there's,
I was saying that
yeah,
too
yeah.
with Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
I was saying the same thing to Mike here, where I was talking about how this thing does make me think of how
The Prince of Egypt.
the
Yeah,
Prince of
yeah,
Egypt
right, yeah.
or Jesus, where they killed the firstborns
And
just
he was spirited away somewhere so that he couldn't get killed. Yeah.
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 Yes, and of course, unlike that one, I think that the Penguin had wanted to take revenge on all the kids who had good families and just
Because
wanted
he
to
was
take
the
revenge on
firstborn
them.
and he was
Yeah.
dumped.
Yeah.
And they tried to kill him by drowning him, but he didn't drown.
Yeah.
He got foster parents, penguins.
Yeah. Another thing that comes to mind last night, I was just
Tarzan had monkeys.
yeah, true. Another thing that comes to mind when I look at this movie is that Penguin and Batman, they have mirror lives, a bit of a reflection on each other. Like Bruce lost his parents, no doubt, to a shooting in the
first movie, yeah.
First movie, and Penguin lost his parents to natural. Well, we don't know.
They dumped him.
They dumped him,
then-
and they
when
died
he,
eventually.
And when
Yeah.
he came out from underground, they were already dead.
And
Yeah.
depending
So
on
both
and
orphans.
both of them,
Yeah.
seeing as both of them lived on the same path, but thanks to circumstances, Batman turned to a life of justice, fighting for good and evil, while Penguin fights for himself, trying to get back what he wants.
Everyone just Sherlock Holmes and Raffles.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only
So is
they know
Penguin,
that-
is Penguin really evil, do you think, or is he just traumatized?
He's jaded.
He's a jaded
I
prince,
think he got-
if that's the
Yeah.
word for it.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be a rich guy. They try to kill me. I'm gonna take revenge.
Yeah.
But he's not. I don't think he's evil.
I think
evil.
that
No.
when you
he
look
wants
down,
to get what he wants.
when you look
Yeah.
down to it, you're going to find that dear
sort of
old
Seven
Penguin
Megalomaniac. How's that?
and Bruce have something in common when you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Reflections of their lives going different opposite directions.
It's one thing that bugs me. If his parents are well-to-do people,
Yes.
and he came back on the scene saying, "Hey," and he proved it by going through the births and deaths registers and everything else, wouldn't he have inherited their estate?
Good point.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Another thing I've
There's no
noticed.
mention of that.
Yeah. Another thing about that scene was when he was writing all their
Could've been
names,
rich.
all the kids' names down,
Yeah.
all the birth certificates, which does explain why he I think he had a hidden agenda to why he was
Punishment.
to punish all the firstborns
Yeah.
by going through the registers. He could have gone through the registers years ago. He could have gone into the registrar's office, steal any
You
of
can't
the
just
stuff,
walk
and
in.
just
He was invited in.
yes.
Yeah.
Ah, there's the hidden agenda.
He keys the city and keys that as well. There you
Yeah,
go.
because
yeah.
notice how he said he didn't want to be disturbed
Yes.
Yeah,
when Max came in. to
I'll
saw
make
him.
you listen. I'll be checking it twice, folks.
Yeah.
And he plans on taking all the city's kids away. Maybe
Like
spirit them
Pied
away.
Penguin. Well, I think he said, right?
Yeah.
So, what does Tim and Real think about the Penguin and Catwoman, like, in terms of their...
I think the Catwoman is a better character than the Penguin.
Yeah.
But
She's better looking
So
than
for
yeah,
you,
Penguin.
yeah.
yeah. The Penguin's not bad either. I thought his voice was a little bit too. I'm the Penguin, and he was a bit hard to understand sometimes.
That's only because he was Danny DeVito, though. That's
Yeah.
just how Danny DeVito
I
speaks.
also-
That's his natural voice.
I also
Yeah.
liked how his hands looked, his flippers. That was kind of creepy and gross.
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that how Danny DeVito got this role for this movie. It was actually Jack Nicholson,
Nicholson, oh, yeah.
who suggested when they were making the sequel. He suggested Danny DeVito.
That makes sense, because they worked together in Who One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
yeah,
Do you know
they
that?
were
Yeah.
good friends.
I saw it years ago. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so dear old Jack
Interesting,
Nicholson suggested Danny DeVito should go into the role of Penguin. And but there was some other actors who were going to be offered the role too.
They
but
were, yeah.
but Danny DeVito won the role fair and square.
So
He's the right height.
I'm not one who actually read the comic books, mind you, but when you compare to Tim Burton's Penguin to the Penguin in the comic books, is there how much of a difference is there?
Okay, now the original Penguin was just like a bent guy, he stealing things or whatever. He wasn't quite as nasty and evil as the one in Tim Burton's. He was darker, yeah.
Okay.
And actually, his parents didn't die.
Okay.
In the comics, he's actually the Penguin. I believe actually came out from England.
Okay.
And he's living in America. And for whatever reason, he became evil, whatever, criminal. And at one stage there, his mother came out from England to visit him, and he had a truce with Batman for a couple of days while his mother visited.
Right. Okay.
That was in the comic books. How's that go, yeah?
Yeah. So we kind of did mention the Adam West version.
Wham, bam, pow. Yeah.
So that was more close to the comic books, was it?
Yeah, it's very tongue-in-cheek.
I think that's probably one of the reasons why so many fans have mixed feelings about the Batman series. They say they read the comics religiously and they just think, like I said in the past, that they just think this should be in this direction, even though most of us never read the comics.
The old TV series was probably closer to the comic, but it was too light.
Yeah.
It was made for kids.
It was too comic, wasn't it?
It was too comic and too light because it was made for kids.
Yeah.
Do they still make Batman comics?
I don't know.
I think they
bought
do
comic for
still.
years, probably.
Because
But I think they're a lot more darker now than they were back then.
Yeah.
Because I would like to try out some older Batman comics, because even though the thing about comics back then is that you didn't have TV restrictions, so you could be dark, but still back then it wasn't extremely dark. It was just right.
But the reason I brought up the comparison with the Tim Burton Penguin to the original is, like, I noticed the Penguin at Movie World, like they did it when they did the superhero special a couple of years back. They had the Penguin there, and I met the Penguin there for the first time and haven't actually met him before then.
Okay.
And I noticed his laugh. He laughs like the Penguin in the comic book. You know, the rang, 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 rang. Like he laughs like a duck.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking, Penguin doesn't laugh like that. He has the
Yeah, well, back in the original TV series, I think, probably, what's his name? That short guy with a raging face. I can't remember his name. No, he's in Grumpy Old Men. His father.
Walter Matthau.
No, his father.
Oh, his father.
Burgess Meredith. Burgess Meredith played the Penguin in the TV series.
Okay.
And he did.
I knew that.
Yeah.
You see,
but
that makes
he
sense
was the
to me.
Penguin in the TV series.
Yeah, but you see, the point I'm making is they had the Penguin from the Tim,
but he was copying Penguin of the
copying
TV series.
Yeah, he was copying the other one. So it didn't.
Yeah. So that's where he probably got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, did you guys know that when they were making the makeup job for Danny DeVito's makeup for the Penguin, he was sworn to secrecy, never to tell it to any of his family or his friends.
What a great nose job.
Meaning he has to keep it secret from the public, you know.
Okay.
Sure know the British get your heart out, hey?
Yeah.
That was makeup though, wasn't it?
Yeah, aesthetic sort of, yeah. It looked great.
Yeah, it looked real.
Like a beak almost,
Yeah, well, that's the point in that's probably one of the major features about Penguin. You know, his beak-like nose.
Yeah, I've been thinking back to all the original movie characters of Batman, like Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler, Two-Face, all that kind of stuff. I think the Penguin was the only villain who was born like that. All the rest of
that's interesting too.
All the rest of the characters
Two-Face
have a background story that created.
Two-Face was there was acid that froze in his eyes, and he developed split personality.
The Joker, he fell into out of chemicals and stuff, and supposedly, and one depending which version you want to.
Even Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin. He had a background story where
he was a scientist.
He had an accident. He was frozen.
Yeah, exactly right.
A good gender.
And poison ivy was created by those chemicals in her greenhouse.
Yeah.
So.
So the Penguin was the only villain that was born like that way. Every other character was created. They had a. You know, they started off as a different person. Normal person.
Yeah, like he was a mad scientist or something like that.
Has it ever been revealed why the Penguin's parents gave him up? Or
because he was a horrible little kid. He was deformed. He ate his cat. Well,
he did eat the cat. Yeah.
I do think that in my mind that I think the parents were so desperate for a child, and
they wanted a normal one.
But they couldn't accept dear old Penguin's you know,
Because he was misfigured. Yeah.
misfigured.
He had something like that,
His fingers were joined together. He's
The Vulcan.
and
Yeah.
he probably looked different.
Yeah. The old bat
Yeah.
shadow on the ceiling.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the end of the movie, Catwoman was about to kill Max Schreck, and the Penguin is about to take his revenge on the city by killing not only the firstborn, but now that his plan went awry, he decides to blow up the city,
with rockets,
killing
yeah.
everyone in the process.
Yes.
But lucky enough, dear old Alfred and Batman, they were able to
Jam the signal
and
send the naughty little penguins back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they blow up the whole zoo area that was
Yeah.
pretty much looks creepy with my life.
Actually, it
Which
was-
the first Batman ride was based on at Movie World.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember going on that ride when it came when the first movie
Is that
came
when
out.
I was actually-
Jillian?
When we watched the
Is that
movie,
when to Jillian?
Yeah.
Scare crap out of her?
when we
was
watched the
scared.
movie at Halloween, and I went back to watching all the
Yeah.
old scenes, and I was thinking to myself, I remember that on the ride.
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah.
zoo. I remember the sewer. I remember.
Yeah, but that was the original version of it.
Yeah.
That ran from 1992 to 2001.
Yeah.
In 2001, they updated it to a more CG
Yeah.
that wasn't based on any films.
Which
It was
wasn't
original.
as good as the first one.
I think that,
Yeah.
that they both had their strengths and weaknesses.
I do like the fact that most of the sets from the original, from those Batman movies Tim Burton made, that they're all displayed in the movie world. You know, some parts of
Really?
it. Yeah, well,
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, with the structure of the buildings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even the car sits in the cafe as well.
yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
love that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I would want to burn that.
Yeah.
Go down the highway there. The
Bring
Batmobile.
all the old
Yeah,
movie
he's
world
real.
characters
Well,
back.
I miss
Batman
the
and Joker, and the original Joker was awesome.
What do you
Like
mean?
the Jack Nicholson
Oh,
Joker.
yeah.
Yeah.
They actually had a Jack Nicholson version at Movie World.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they ever have a Heath Ledger Joker at Movie World?
I don't think they did.
No, I don't
I don't
think
think
they
I've ever
ever
seen
He
it.
wasn't too bad, actually. He was.
He wasn't, no.
He was different.
Yeah.
He put his own first little bit into it, I think, possibly.
I think the Joker at Movie World, at the time that The Dark Knight came out,
Yeah.
they were doing the Joker from Arkham Asylum because of the coaster.
Yeah.
Games, yeah.
With the big penguin-like
Maybe
nose.
maybe
Yeah.
it just wasn't fitting because Heath Ledger had died and maybe it was too dark.
Yeah.
Well, that's another
so,
point too. Yeah, there was a bit of respect for the dead, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, But who remembers who played the Joker in the original TV series?
Mark Hamill.
He had a moustache.
Nope.
Mark Hamill. Oh no! It was
That was a cartoon, silly.
No, I'm
the
talking
other-
about the original TV series.
Yeah, I think I
With
remember.
Adam West. It was Cesar Romero.
yeah, Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was gonna say I can't remember his name, but I know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he had a moustache, and they refused to. He refused to shave it off, so they had to paint over the top.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, have you guys ever seen the not that one, but I'm thinking of the cartoon one that came out just after Batman Returns.
Yes.
The,
I haven't seen it.
yeah.
I used to
Batman,
follow
the
I used to follow
animated
that
Yeah, the
cartoon. Yeah.
animated one.
No, I haven't seen any of that
Yeah,
show.
I gotta admit, I do like it, and I do like the fact they use the same music in
Yeah.
intro they took from.
I think
the
I only
this
ever saw
Batman
one
movie.
episode of that series, that entire series
I think,
though.
and there
Yeah.
was, I'm not sure if it was an animated movie or a new animated show, but there was a show called Batman Beyond.
Oh, I heard that one,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
haven't watched it. I mean, I haven't watched all the new latest Batman movies out there. I think there's a few adult-related Batmans out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there is.
Cartoons.
The one there was. I know there's one.
Adult-rated,
I know there's one where
R-rated?
Joker
Yes.
actually dies.
Well, completely
one?
R-rated. There's still not. They won't show too much nudity, but there
He only
is
took
a
his
lot.
leotards off, did he?
Wait, which movies were
Well,
the Joker?
I can't remember what it's called. It was something to do with Joker's death. I can't
Okay.
remember what it was
The
called.
Killing Joke? No, that was the that's the
Killing-
original Joker comic book.
Okay.
They did do a retro-themed Batman. I think that took place in Victorian England. I think that was.
Did
I'm not sure. I haven't.
There's also a version where they made Bruce Wayne look really old. From what I hear, can't remember what it was called, but
no.
Yeah.
Can't,
Yeah.
can't comment
Again,
thereof.
I
Yeah.
prefer the ones that were done that were made in 19.
Yeah.
Mentioning
So-
that too, you've been old. You're going back to the actual original comics. They actually had that in some comics where they had children,
yeah.
and actually Batman. I'm not quite sure
Oh,
about
not
Batman.
the Titans.
Eh?
You're not thinking of the Titans.
No.
Okay.
And there was one time I remember that Superman's son, I think, and Batman's son became something or other, and they went to I don't know, another dimension or another world, and they were superheroes in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember what they're called, Darkwing or something, Nighthawk and Darkwing or something, I can't remember. Yeah,
Okay.
that goes back a long time now.
Yeah, anyway, in the final scene, you know the scene where Bruce is driving around with Alfred and he sees the figure, Catwoman,
Yes.
and then he goes into the alleyway. It makes me think of Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Michael
because
where
it's the same
they
thing, yeah.
find a cat there and he takes the cat in
And that takes the cat home.
A quick question that I couldn't really pick up on was that actually, didn't it say originally that was 1 year later in one of the original cuts?
not that I'm aware of.
No, I don't think it's. I can't remember.
Okay.
'Cause
Because I'm
it's-
pretty sure I've seen it 1 year later, like one time. I vaguely remember seeing 1 year later. And then when I watched it back recently, I had to look back at it again and think, hang on, if it's 1 year later, he's still got that scratch on his face.
Yeah, I know.
It's a
And
bit
why
of a
would he be
continuity
driving around looking for Catwoman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like he was right.
Is he really desperate for a date?
Yeah,
Hello?
he's still looking for Catwoman, yes.
Oh, she was really
That's a
hot,
good point,
wasn't
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly like the ending where you see the bat signal and she's there looking still in her prime.
Yeah.
Or well, we don't see her face.
Well,
obviously.
When it was
didn't
in our
look shot
prime.
or dead.
Yeah.
Dead,
Sorry,
yeah.
when it was in our prime, I remember a boy commenting, "There's going to be a Catwoman returns."
Well, actually,
Also, the
was
one.
in the Catwoman movie or whatever, there's a line say that's the pussy I want or something or other.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Don't joke. Don't go there.
And also, the one scene that I remember from this movie the most, the one that made me go, ew, is when Catwoman licks Batman's face and up under his nose.
I thought it was kind of nice.
they got me on.
Oh,
They
that's
got turned me
gross.
on. I'll tell you right. Lucky,
That
lucky,
must have,
lucky Michael
that must have
Keaton.
smelled
Yeah,
really
I
He
think-
does
bad.
have a lot of cat characteristics, which is what I love about her as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when
Hey, it
when
wouldn't be
he hits
horrible
that,
to be
hisses
eating
that
garlic or
Batman.
something or other. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry?
It should have been eating garlic just before or something or other.
Yeah.
Hi. They would have killed him.
One gruesome scene that always got me is when Penguin bit one of his staff's nose.
Yeah,
All his
yeah.
blood's
Yeah.
Oh
Pull
yeah,
it
that
out,
was
yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
he did
always
insult him, and he had a bit of a laugh. At least I don't have blood gushing from nose. You go, what do you mean?
And the one scene that always got me is where Catwoman kisses the Penguin while holding that electric thing, and
No, it wasn't
They-
Penguin.
No, that was
Yeah.
Penguin. That was Max
Shrek.
Shrek.
yeah.
She says, in the meantime, I'm going to kiss Santa Claus. And then she just
Claus.
holds it between...
Doesn't she say has about
How
a
about
kiss
a
in it?
kiss, Santa Claus?
Santa-
Yeah, Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
yeah, so she kind of has the,
Put the taser in her mouth.
taser in her mouth.
And she grabbed on the 240 volt with the high
Yeah.
tension wires and zapped him, and she didn't get a scratch.
And that really threw you off, didn't it?
it
Will?
did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that-
like, hang on, wouldn't she have died from that?
Yeah.
Maybe she
She's
just...
a pussycat.
Maybe
Nine
she just
lives.
pressed it into his mouth, to Max Shrek's mouth, instead of her own, to avoid...
Yeah, but she grabbed the high tension
Your
lines.
Will's reaction to that, because when we
Yeah.
saw it for Halloween, it was actually Will's first time he ever saw it, and his reaction to that was so funny.
Yeah,
was
I
like,
think that...
Whoa!
I thought when
Yeah,
I thought
whatever.
the bit where Batman, when he was taking all the bits away, and we see Max Shrek from his being completely
Hey, he looked
shot,
like
pretty much Ash self.
he looked a bit like
I mean,
Mrs.
that
Bates, didn't he?
that creeped me out when I was little. I mean,
Yeah.
since I was a kid, I got creeped out by that scene.
He looked like Mrs. Bates.
And also the corpse, like this.
yeah.
Yeah, his mouth hanging out.
Was that good for you?
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I mean, I thought the scene creeped me out when I was little, and for a while it kind of stuck in my my nightmares. Well, not really. I mean,
Welcome to
I
my
mean,
nightmare.
I gotten over it and seen through it as an awesome effect.
Yeah, look good. Yeah, like Mrs. Bates.
So it it's kind of affected me that much. I think that it kind of really had brought the film to life whenever I look
Yeah.
at
Or
it.
death.
Well, death, yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, kitties.
yeah.
I often think that Tim Burton does bring shine to those types of movies.
Do you remember the little figurines they brought out when the movie first came out?
I vaguely do.
Yeah, and the pens you used to get from McDonald's.
I remember. I got
That's
a
wild.
penguin one of my own.
I remember getting, I think it was a Batmobile one, and
think I got one
I really
Batman
wanted the
too.
Batman and Penguin and Catwoman one.
I wanted to get the Catwoman one and the Batman one, but I had to settle for the ones I had to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to go to McDonald's every day to try and get it. You
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
look like me. Or something,
Yeah.
rather than,
Yeah,
you know,
I kind of got.
food,
I think I
McDonald's
got
figurines, yeah.
the penguin and maybe the Batmobile. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't get the
And
Batman
where are
or-
they now? He says.
I think I had
They
I
ask
think I had a
him.
Penguin figurine and a Batman figurine. I don't think I ever got Catwoman though. Yeah,
Oh.
but
I would have loved to get a Catwoman one.
I mean, like these are like the plastic,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rubber
I know,
plastic ones,
yeah,
not
yeah.
the action figures.
No,
Yeah.
they're the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta admit though, I did like though when those came out, they were awesome. But then again, I love the ads that they put online on television when they did
No,
those.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
How long ago until you guys came into the world when all this stuff came out?
Well, I was born in 1997, so
And I was
Okay.
born in 1986.
I
so
was
that
born in
got a chance to see both.
1954.
Yeah.
1986.
1986.
That's probably why you don't remember as much as I do. I was born in '83, so you know I would have been about just
Still his age.
turned 10 when they first started coming out.
I
Yeah.
think, to be honest, I didn't really watch any Batman when I was a kid. I mean, the first time I was really exposed to Batman was when I, the Batman ride,
Yeah.
at Movie World.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the Batman movies when I was a kid. I didn't see The Dark Knight in full until about 2010, after the hype died down.
Okay.
And I played a couple of Batman games, but I didn't really get into Batman until like the 2010s and
Okay.
now. So
Right.
Well, each to his or her own is what
What
I
about
say.
you, Tim? When did you get into Batman?
As a kid.
As a kid?
Yeah, read a lot of comics with my sister, and then we played a lot of video games, and we also watched the Tim Burton films, and also Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And then as we grew up, we still were interested in the character and got into the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
I think I was into it when the first Batman
didn't know
came
that.
out, the
Nolan.
1989 one that came out.
Yeah.
And I pretty much watched both of them, and I liked them. And
I mean, I used to watch the 60s series when I was a kid because they used to do reruns on the TV. I used to watch the reruns, but yeah, I don't think really got into it until I saw the Tim Burton Batman movie myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's what made it.
yeah, Tim Burton knows how to make it
Yeah.
shine awesome.
I think he's weird. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he did Nightmare Before Christmas. He does Batman.
Edward Scissorhands.
And Edward Scissorhands. He does the weird stuff good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
a
Yeah.
straight movie.
He even did a-
handles weird good.
Yeah, he
Like I
did.
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
he's very influenced by German expressionism.
Actually, you mentioned it before. I mean, have you ever seen an old movie called The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
I've heard of it.
Yes.
But I want to watch
Have you
it.
seen it?
I
If
actually
you look
saw-
at the surrealism and stuff in that and
Yeah.
different things, then you think of what he's doing now. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had to watch that as part of the project from when I was in film school.
Yeah,
So
it's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
Even by day standards.
I found it very hard to follow because it was silent.
Yeah.
And you know,
But I like,
I
the
kept
twist in the end.
yeah, I kept dozing
really
off
good.
a little
Also,
bit, but yeah, it
A
was
movie
interesting.
I always
Yeah.
wanted to watch from the 20s is Metropolis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know how to get these movies because they're too old. You can't
I've
buy
got
them in
them.
the stores.
just
I've got
look them
them.
up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've got.
I'm pretty sure I
I've
looked
got
up.
copies.
What was that
Would you be
vampire
able
one
to
called?
give me a copy of
Metropolis,
Metropolis?
yeah.
And
Okay.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari? And I'll be able to... Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll put them on display.
What
Yeah.
was that vampire one? What was that vampire one called?
Which one?
The one we were just talking about, the German one?
Yeah, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
That's not a vampire one.
Yeah,
No, the
it's-
one we were talking about before. When we brought the subject up. Never mind.
Do you mean Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I forgot where I was going with that.
Anyway,
You've been derailed, huh?
So anyway, I do think the So do you want to rate this movie now, guys?
I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10.
Oh, he's a hard man.
Not bad, but
Could
it
do
wasn't
better.
really what I expected, and it was a bit lacking. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Well, just remember it was in the 90s,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
different in filmmaking now. Anyway, Jason, what?
Thinking probably a 9 out of 10.
Oh wow.
Okay, Tim.
I'm very generous, so I'm gonna give this a 9.5.
Oh.
Okay, Mike.
Look, I'm like Jason. I'll give it about a 9. He was a little bit of room for improvement, little bits here and there, but overall, I think it was a good one. Tim Burton really excelled himself. I think it's the better movie of the two. I mean, even though I like the Joker as a villain
Yeah.
more, I think this one had a bit more going for it to me.
Yeah.
Storyline. Yeah.
When this movie was
So what you? So what?
9. I said 9.
Okay.
when this movie was still very young, I remember actually writing a story where they had the Joker, Catwoman, and Penguin, like the Tim Burton versions,
Okay.
all 3 of them in it, and I called it Batman Saves the Day.
Well, there you go then. And
Yeah.
what are you
The
going
cat,
to rate
the
that?
bat,
Chubby?
the
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it because I really like Tim Burton's style and the Danny Elfman's music composing.
Yeah, he's really good. He got nice Atmos music.
And
yeah.
the
Yeah.
sets and costumes and gosh knows what else. But because every time I look at these Tim Burton movies, it seems like you could just feel
They're
the Tim
dark.
Burton feeling.
Actually,
Yeah.
talking about these guys are bringing cartoon characters or comic book characters to life. You think have you all seen the Dick Tracy movie before, Beatty?
Yep.
Now, if you look at the filming and the colouring and the lighting, it was straight out of a comic book.
Yes.
All the stark colours,
Yeah.
the bright colour.
It was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was trying to emulate the feeling of the comic book, a colorized version,
Yeah.
on film. So these guys, they're really talented when they put them together. Yeah, they're different, obviously different producer directors, but
Well,
they've got the
I
same sort of
do
thing,
happen to have a
trying to
copy.
get the comic book thing happening.
Yeah, I do happen to have a copy of Dick Tracy at home. So if you guys want to do,
No, I got it.
oh, you don't? Yeah. Well, if you guys want to do a review on that,
Well, we'll look
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I rate this Batman Returns 10 out of 10.
Oh wow.
hey,
Yay! Way to go! Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do like Tim Burton's movies, and
yeah.
and there's nothing like them out.
You were talking about the zombie before. I mean, everything to do with Tim Burton, it's plain fantasy. And that's what I love
it's
about
just
it.
that
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
there's a lot of interesting sculptures in the movie.
Yeah, very exaggerated sort of
Something
artworks.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
creepy that you could tell something is going to happen.
Gothic-y.
Gothic-y.
Yeah.
Gothic,
Yeah.
good word, Gothic.
Like something
Yeah.
out of out of interesting dream of his.
Salvador Dali, get
Yeah.
your heart out. Yeah.
I wonder if that Salvador Dali ever met Tim Burton, or maybe too late. Or I
Maybe
don't
it's his
know.
love child.
I wonder if Tim
What?
Burton ever got into art school. Do you think?
So
Do you think Tim Burton ever went into art school?
possibly. I think Tim Burton's first interest was actually animation. He first
Well, he's done
got
it.
into
He has done animation.
He first
so
got
yeah,
into
yeah.
animation. I think his very first work was actually a still caption animation.
I remember.
But then
yeah.
he did, I think he did Beetlejuice after that, and then he did Batman.
I'll tell you
yeah.
a stop motion animation movie that I heard is very good but haven't seen. It's called The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, don't know the one. Yeah.
And apparently, if you look it up, it has some really good stop motion claymation in it.
Okay.
It's very interesting and it's also kind of creepy as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Did you
Yeah.
ever guys heard of the one where I think it was an early one? I think he did that. Well, not an early one. Just it was done years ago where he does a bit of an old animation of about Vincent Price, and Vincent Price did the narration for dear old
Okay.
Tim Burton, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't
I-
aware of that, but yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those much earlier stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
okay. That might have been the cartoon that I was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, it deals with a character who was into Edgar Allan Poe's stories,
Okay.
and
I'm pretty
it's
sure that was
creepy.
I'm pretty sure that was a short film, wasn't
Yeah,
a
it
feature.
was a short one.
Yeah.
Not really. Wasn't going really far.
Yeah.
It was a bit
I
like,
know-
it
I
was
only
a bit
know
like
a
the new
little bit
Creepshow
about-
movie, is it?
Yeah,
It's a
sort
bit
of.
like, okay.
A little
I didn't
bit.
know a little bit about Tim Burton because, as I said, it
Yeah.
was one of my approaches for
Okay.
film school.
I
I,
got
ha-
admit,
I remember I had to do. I think it was for film history, cinema history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to do a comparison of, a traditional movement
Yeah, yeah.
of vintage cinema and compared it to today's cinema. I think that's what the
Yeah,
assignment was.
the
Did you
one-
get that, Real? That
Yeah.
assignment? Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
The one thing
Yeah.
I like about Tim Burton's is that you can always tell from his style. I didn't remember a while back he was going to do Mary Poppins, and you could tell right
Right,
away
yeah.
it was going to be a very dark Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that, yeah.
And of course, I think that he handed it over to someone else who made it a little bit more
Bit
lighter, like the original,
yeah.
movie itself.
Well, if you're going to make it like the original movie, why remake it?
Good point. So anyway, as I was
Well,
saying,
yeah,
he also did the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and you could tell right away there was going to be a twisty
Yeah, actually,
Tim Burton
I
style
did
in
like
it.
that, actually.
Yeah.
That was dark.
Also, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I
That was
wasn't.
dark.
I wasn't a real
Yeah.
big
That was
fan of
dark.
Alice in Wonderland.
Actually,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was in both
Despite all
those.
the
Yeah, he was.
colours and the
Well-
he does, it
Yeah.
still has a twisted nature about it.
Speaking of Johnny Depp, they've actually had a good working relationship back since Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of films
that's
together.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen them. I even
See,
seen.
that's another guy who likes weird
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Even-
brings those
Yeah.
weird roles, love his
Yeah,
secret
Tim Burton
window and
even-
stuff, and really demented sort of guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm really nice, not really.
Yeah, I even
Yeah.
saw a black and white film called Ed Wood, which is a bit of a biodrama that Tim Burton created, which I gotta admit was a
Yeah, that's right.
was a
that's
step
it.
in the right
wait.
direction.
I said that Beetlejuice was his first movie. I think Edward Scissorhands was his first movie, wasn't it?
I think I might have to do a bit of
Yeah.
look
Does go back a while, might be.
Yeah.
I might have to go
Yeah.
back and do a bit of a run through again.
Yeah.
But it does go back a bit. It's a long
But
time ago.
Edward Scissorhands was more early 90s, wasn't it?
and that was, I think,
Yeah,
Johnny
well,
Depp's
Beetlejuice was
first.
mid 80s.
Yeah,
so
that was, I think, Johnny Depp's first break away from TV.
Yeah.
that might
He
have
was
been what
in
it
Jump
is.
Street, wasn't it? Something
21
like
Jump
that.
Street,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that Jump Street movie TV show, and then that was his first film.
Yeah,
I think
but
the
that
only
may
other
have been
movie
what it
that has surprised me that Tim Burton created that didn't have too much of a dark theme was that Big Eye movie. That was a bit of a
The what?
is. Big
biodrama.
Fish.
No,
The
Big
what?
Eye movie.
Big Eye.
It's about an artist who
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
who's,
Yes.
paints.
Oh, those kids with the big
beautiful-
eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and her ex-husband tries to claim them as his own.
Yeah, and
You
and
know?
I
Can't remember that one.
Yeah. The lady, a lady did these artworks of these kids, like street kids, and whatever, but had big. They exaggerated the eyes. They made them larger than life,
Yeah.
and she was making money out of it. But he was marketing it for her, and
Yeah.
everyone thought he was the artist. And,
Right.
And he was putting it over. He actually painted the pictures,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and in the end, they've got a
Yeah.
court case happening, and said, okay, 2 easels. And she did it, and he couldn't. Oh, I'm having a mental block today. I've got a sore hand. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He couldn't prove he
yeah,
actually
she could do it
paint
in
or
a
draw
second or,
anything.
an
So,
hour.
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, and another thing about this is the actual artist. She actually knows Tim Burton, and he's bought 2 of her pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, see, you
wonder if we
learn
got a
something new
discount.
every day.
Yeah.
When you got a discount?
So
Mates rates? No.
And she's still painting, and according to my research, I found out he hasn't picked up a brush in like.
They got,
Yeah.
They
How
got
many
guys
years?
useless, yeah.
so to finish up, what's the most funniest bit in the movie for you? Batman.
Okay, funniest bit I can think of. I think it would be the. Let me see. I think it was the bit where Catwoman is skipping toward using her whip as a skipping rope.
Yeah.
And she sees the 2 security guards, and they
Yeah.
say, "I don't know if I should open fire or fall in love." And then she says,
Yeah.
takes her whip and gives them.
Hey, I only get paid $30 a month or something.
And-
$3 a month or a week or something, and
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Bye.
And she says, "You're overpaid. Hit the road." And then she gives
Yeah,
them.
The funniest part about the movie for me is where Batman's walking down the alleyway and he sees when it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that probably be my funniest
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
too.
and then he just
Yeah.
jumps away.
I
Yeah.
thought the bit where he was fighting a very big man, and he says, "Go ahead, hit me," and Batman tries to hit him, but
I think it's the same
and-
scene he's talking
and
about.
No,
when he
he-
looks
he had
down,
the
he
dynamite in
sees
his
the
pants.
dynamite in his
Yeah.
pants, and dear old Batman throws him, and then you see him.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
All this smoke comes out of the drain.
I don't know.
What about you, Tim? What's your funniest?
So the moment before the Shrek building was about to blow up, and you see Catwoman cartwheeling
Yeah, that was a
towards
good one.
Batman and Penguin, and
Yeah.
then she stops right in front of them and goes, meow, and then the building blows up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think my favorite funny bit. I can't really think of any from out of Batman Returns, but
Favourite funny bit? I haven't got a favourite funny bit, but the part I like the most was when Penguin's sitting on Catwoman.
Yeah.
And she gives him a flat refusal, I'd rather die or something or other, or said something really
Oh,
nasty to him.
she says, "I rather I won't touch you, let alone scratch you."
Yeah, and then she took off.
Well-
No, he put his umbrella on her neck and
Planning on a bit of a
trying to kill her.
hanging.
Yeah.
He jilted lovers, I don't know.
maybe it's when they're in the bedroom together, and Catwoman sees the bird and goes for the bird and puts the bird in her mouth.
I read somewhere that
Yeah.
that was
Ew.
not. She really had a bird in her mouth. Really,
Did she?
they were going to be a mechanical one, but it didn't look very realistic.
So it was an actual real bird that she put
Real
in.
She didn't need it. No birds are hurt during the making of this movie.
She didn't need it because she's batted out again. But
Yeah.
where I was going with this
Yeah.
was she puts the bird in her mouth, and then Penguin grabs her cat, goes, "Nice kitty, good kitty," gets out his sword to threaten the cat, and then Catwoman spits the bird out again.
Yeah.
Like a Scud missile. Boom!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was clever. Very clever.
Paul, pussycat.
I liked it when she says "nice birdie" in that kind of, and when she grabs it in one swift motion like a cat.
That's one thing I love about Catwoman is
Hey,
unlike Batman where he does the actual bat characteristics, Catwoman actually does all the cat characteristics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I like Halle Berry and her version of Catwoman, because she's very cat-like in her movements.
She
and
is very
stuff.
cat-like, but I still
Yeah.
like. In terms of design, I
Yeah,
still like
yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer. I
Yeah.
still like her costume better.
I do think
Bonds
that
do have
I
more
do
fun, don't
suspect
they?
that in the movie when she became Catwoman, when she was around the office with Max Schreck, I think she was just putting on her cat's nails and just telling him, "I'm here and I'm gonna back." It looked like she was blackmailing him,
back,
and
yeah.
in a bad way, even though
Yeah.
he doesn't see it. He probably sees her as more of a threat in that scene.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what sort of threat she was somehow or other.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I would not like to be anywhere near a window with him around.
No.
Nice
That actually
kitty.
scared me the first time.
Yeah, I think I did. That got me scared when I once fell out of a tree and I was worried I was gonna get bruised legs for the rest of my day
No,
when
it
I
didn't
fell.
hurt. Didn't hurt itself. Fell on the head.
Just thought of another.
Very rude.
Just thought of another funny bit.
I actually really did fall out of a tree
He
when
did.
I was
He
young,
did.
and
He did.
I kind of had my legs were very badly bruised and I couldn't walk for 2 days.
Just thought of another funny bit. Hi, honey, I'm home. Oh, I forgot I'm not married.
Yeah.
I liked it
That
when
was
she was
interesting.
all traumatized by the event when
Yeah.
she said that again in this,
and
and she's all dazed and she's
Yeah.
in a zombie-like state, or
And
not.
she drinks the cat's milk. How
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great acting. But
It is.
Yeah, and of course I did like it when she trashed her apartment.
Yeah.
And she
That's
turns
Will's favourite part.
she
too.
turns hello there to hell here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
noticed that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for the win, it's hello, hell, or something like that.
Yeah, it's hello there,
Yeah,
but she smashes the H in the O and
Yeah,
it turns
hello.
into hell here.
Yeah, hell,
Yeah, I thought it was clever. I liked that.
Oh, that's
when-
kind of cute, that.
I thought it was cute when the cats came into the apartment. It was so
Yeah.
interesting. Like they kind of sensed that she was changing. Or
Yeah,
something.
the cats were like, "What are you doing? Uh-oh, what have we done?"
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
we
she
picked the
created
wrong
monster.
bloody one again, didn't we?
We should have gone for Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Halle Berry, when they did the Catwoman movie, they actually during one of the scenes where you see actual Michelle Pfeiffer photo amongst some
Really?
photos of
Oh,
Catwoman.
you did? Yeah, that's right.
It's a bit of a sort of a product placement.
Easter
there.
egg.
Yeah, Easter egg.
It's what you call an Easter egg.
Yeah, an Easter egg thing.
Yeah, Easter egg hunt. Yeah, it's in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Product placement. No,
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it Easter egg. Is this?
I think
It
it's
just gets the
because
term.
it's,
Yeah,
it
well, you
seems
Easter eggs are
appealing.
planted around there. You're going to find them in the
makes
background.
sense, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah.
product placement. You look at I think Men in Black. I think they had Hungry Jack's or Burger
Yeah.
King behind them.
No, that's actually product placement.
No, yeah, same sort of thing. It's in the background. You got in the background, Burger King for the aliens. They don't eat Burger King.
How do you know?
They might eat the staff at Burger King, but they might.
Only the bad aliens do.
Yes.
You know,
Anyway,
that sort of stuff.
so do you guys want to sign off, or do you want to have anything else to add about this movie?
I don't have anything else to say about the movie from what I've already said. I
Tim?
could.
Oh, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I'll
Let
say
him-
one more thing. I really hope the Penguin gets his own movie.
Yeah.
That's
How
all
about
I'll
a
say.
TV show?
Even better.
That's okay. And what's
Jason?
interesting?
I think I've said what I had to say.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
I could talk for hours, but
We just have to all day.
no, I don't think I want to say too much about this movie. But I would like to say to everybody, everybody out there who's been listening to us this year, hope everyone stays healthy and well over the holiday season. I don't know why they call it holiday season. It's bloody Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. Merry Christmas, not Merry Holiday Season.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna be too ashamed. Unlike some people out there who think that we should just say Happy Holidays, I'm with Mike on this when we just should say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you
Merry
guys.
Christmas and Happy New Year. And Batman Returns is not a Christmas movie.
Or actually, we put it another way. Merry Syphilis and Happy Gonorrhea for those people having a good time.
So anyway, our next podcast, this will be our last podcast, so you guys know,
Till
till January the 8th. So
no, January the 8th?
yeah, January. No, not
February.
February the 8th.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're having a little over a month off to refresh our minds, find some new topics, new movies, old movies.
Yeah, we'll be sure
And
to
the
write.
like.
We'll be sure to write a list of movies to let you know what we're going to be doing next.
Yeah.
Or
I
if you
want to
guys-
get some old ones in there.
or
I'll
if you
talk
have a
Sarah into it later.
Or if you
Yeah.
have any suggestions of movies that you may like to us to review, feel free to pass them along in my suggestion box.
Dick Tracy.
Freaks, the original old Freaks movie done by Todd Brown, was it? Todd
Yeah.
Browning? That's a good one. That really sealed his career as they're not going to make any more movies.
Again, guys, as I said before in the past, we're going to probably see about trying to bring more and more filmmakers, our next.
Yeah, we might do a few. We might
podcast
work on
episodes?
other things, a few things.
Yeah. Because we
review-
missed out on this year because of what happened.
Coronavirus, social distancing. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll
Stay
be
away from
definitely sure to bring those people on board.
I mean, it's really me
Yeah.
falling asleep over
Okay. Okay. This is Sarah Stephenson.
there. And Michael Stephenson and
William Fletcher.
Jason Wingate.
Timothy Clark.
Saying, see you
Merry-
next time, and Merry
Merry
Christmas and a
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.